what areas of parole are in need of improvement, especially when taking into account your current employment?
I have to get a pass to leave the county. And it's difficult to get a pass. I have to call, say I need a pass. He says, he's never said no, anything like that. But he goes, okay, well, come up here today at 4:30 or whatever. Well, I might sit up in the waiting room for an hour to get this pass. I go back there, I see him where I'm going, he writes some stuff down, punches it up on the computer, and it goes through. I've had other parole officers where I could call and say, I need a pass to go out, to Benton or Searcy or wherever for work, And they say, sure, just come by and pick it up. And I could just go pick it up at the window. They'd already had it printed up. I'm sure my guys may be being more by the books or whatever, but that's to a detriment. It makes it difficult. Plus, if I'm at work, say I'm working over here in North Little Rock, and there's a big service call at a building in Benton, my employer basically cannot call me and say, hey, I need you to load your stuff up and go to Benton and fix this for me real quick. I'm not usable in that capacity to my employer because I have to go get this pass. Fortunately, my employer's been pretty tolerant and accepting of that and worked with me well, but I could see where that could cause problems. I remember another time I'd been laid off, and I called not the guy I have currently, but another parole officer to try to get a pass to go to Benton to fill out with another electrical company, and I couldn't get a hold of them for 3 days. That's stifling me from being able to fill out a job application. And if my boss asks me on Friday, can you go to Benton or wherever, Cabot, on Monday, I can't, because my current parole officer does home visits every Friday, all day.
All day?
All day. And he's not in the office on Monday. Well, I guess that's his day. He has a day off. I don't know what, but he's not there on Mondays. So there's no way for me to get that pass.
It's 4 day, yeah.
Yeah. So I can basically only get a pass Tuesday through Thursday.
Yeah.
It just feels like they leave a lot of loose ends, so if they did choose to screw with you, that they could at any moment in time. That's another, I got an AA meeting in Maumelle on Friday nights. My curfew's 10 o'clock, and this meeting runs 8 to 9. I've stayed up there talking to somebody who maybe it was their first or second time at a meeting, or maybe they'd been sober for a few months and went and had a drink, and they were needing some fellowship and stuff, and I'm looking at the clock, and I'm like, crap, I'm going to be breaking my my curfew, if I stay here and continue talking to this person. Or, there's been times I've just been talking to people just because we had stuff in common. I was talking to them after the meeting, and I start thinking, well, it's 9:45, all right, I got to go, and I've got to cut my evening short of doing something productive and healthy, hanging out with other sober people, other functioning members of society, because I'm about to be 31. I've still got a curfew. I understand a curfew of midnight or 1 in the morning or something, or why not let people out and if you're going to go out and commit a crime at 2 in the morning, you don't care about the curfew.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're not out committing a crime, why do you have to be in at 10?
Yeah.
Either the people are going to go commit the crime because and the curfew isn't going to matter, or it's only going to hinder people that are trying not to get in trouble.
Yeah.
If I'm out at midnight, 1, that's a rarity, but 2, I'm not doing anything to get in trouble.
Yeah.
But I could get pulled over and be in trouble for that, even if I was leaving my dad's house.
Were you ever on work release?
I was not. I applied and applied and applied, and never could get accepted to it. Which the VOTEC turned out to be very helpful, but work release, I had. Well, both me and my wife were incarcerated. My dad was the primary caregiver for my daughter, and he, in 1985, had a tractor flip over on him, and eventually, about 19 years later, had to go on full disability. So he's on a fixed income, and now all of a sudden had, a baby to take care of. And the price of phone calls are like $5 a piece. They're like $15 from the county jail. It's like $15 for 15 minutes for me to call across town from Pulaski County Jail. GTL, I think is the name of the company that does the prisons, and they are making a killing off of that system.
GPL?
GTL, I think
GTL.
Global Telelink, I think is the name of it. But they are making an absolute killing off of that. And sometimes you'd be on the phone and it would just randomly hang up on you after like 7 minutes, but you still get charged for the full phone call. Or if you call and like your people answer and say, I can't talk right now, can you call back tomorrow, or could you call back at 7? It's still like a $5 phone call for a minute, But anyways, if I could have just not been a burden to him and been able to work and pay for my own phone calls in my own commissary, that would have been helpful in itself. But also, if I could have sent money for home, which from what I understand you can do in work release, for diapers and stuff, that would have also been helpful. Plus, if I could have, back at that time, what my main goal was there was the Benton work release, and they had Affiliated Foods as one of their employers. And I was thinking, if I could have got to Affiliated Foods and worked hard, I could have kept my, I live in Little Rock, it's 15 minutes away. I could have kept my job there when I got out and had a decent job, but I never made it to work release. That's a system that I think is underutilized. I think, like me personally, I'd had some jobs, but I had never really known what it was like to actually work consistently every day and not call in just because I didn't feel like going in. I think that's kind of a valuable skill that they could be teaching people in a controlled environment like work release, that it's underutilized. But also just allowing these guys to support themselves while they're incarcerated would be helpful, both to them and the family.